Hello, my name is Jamal Williams, aka Codemaster Jamal, and welcome to my game development channel. I recently created 2 trailers showcasing my game, and I've received a great deal of feedback from the community. To everyone, I say thank you. Today I'm going to show you guys how I recorded my Unity game, as well as the compiled version of my game, and the first musical track that I created for my indie game. I mentioned before in another vlog that I wanted to take my time to make music instead of rushing it, so this song is actually incomplete, but it's the basis for an area in my game called the Mystic Forest. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so recording my Unity game was pretty easy. So easy in fact that I'll be retracting a few bad statements I made about the Unity game engine in my 2019 desktop review. I recorded my game with the Unity Recorder asset, which allows you to record your game through the Unity editor frame by frame. It's pretty easy to set up, however, if you need help, there's a tutorial by ThinkCredit that will help you set up the recorder with your project. There's also the VR capture recorder, which you can also find in the asset store. Originally, I used the VR capture to record my game in the video 3 months of game design. However, it has a watermark that you can't remove from the footage. It would be nice if you could pay to remove it, however, it seems that they don't have the option to do so. What I learned from this experience is not to use OBS Studio to record my game at all, as it's not an efficient way to do so. The reason why I'm showing you this and why this is important because in the future I'll be making trailers for my game, so figuring out how to do this ahead of time is a definite must. It's also important because in future updates I don't want to receive as many negative views and comments about my game as I did in the last video. Now that we've discussed how I recorded my Unity game, let's move on to showcasing my compiled game. Originally I was going to showcase a compiled version of my game, but as you guys know, I have a hard time showcasing my game off my laptop. I'll show you guys this much of my game, however, I won't record it on screen for too long because I know the quality won't be great. What I was planning to do with this game was to upload it to itch.io for free with the option to donate to the project if you wanted to see more or to further the advancement of my game. However, after reading a few things on gamedev.net, the Unity forums, and other places on the net, I've come to realize that C# based programs are incredibly easy to hack. Because of this, I'm afraid of someone stealing my graphics and using it in their game before I have a chance to release my own. Kinda silly, I know, but I also realized that eventually someone is going to steal my graphics. That's just how the internet works, although I want to prolong this for as long as possible, or at least until my game is released. That being said, this actually motivates me to finish my website so that I can release this version of my game on my site along with several other cool things. This isn't a complete game, not by far. I just wanted it to serve as my first Unity project and to allow people who've been following me for a long time to have something to enjoy. I may go back to this game and tweak a few things like adding more enemies and changing the health and attack system, but for now I'm leaving this game as it is. So for now, I'm going to zip my Learning Unity project and save it in one of my archives. The only things I will be taking from this project are my textures, materials, 3D models, and prefabs. I'll also be working day and night finishing my website so people can join the site and reserve their usernames. I think this is going to be really fun. I'm going to enjoy getting back into web development. Finally, let's look at the musical score I created this week. Alright, as you can notice, I got rid of Ableton and switched back to using lmms. The reason for this is because Ableton was taking up too much space on my laptop. Plus, the version of Ableton I had was the Live 10 Lite version, which only allowed up to 8 tracks at maximum. Not to mention that I had a hard time with the interface of it. However, if I did get the Pro version, I almost have to get a new computer because I'm sure my laptop wouldn't be able to sustain it. Also, I forgot to mention, the reason why I switched to Ableton in the first place is because I found it easier to write more complicated, tedious, and versatile drums and rhythm sections. Mainly because in Ableton you can load all your drums onto a single pad and work it out that way. So here's the thing, this version of lmms' interface is very similar to GarageBand, and for the longest time that has always been my preferred music production software. Ableton definitely has better preset samples and instruments, as well as sound quality, but for now, lmms is going to get the job done. To begin, I started making the song with lmms' default samples, which got me pretty far, but I wanted to add a bit more oomph to the sound. The idea behind this score was to make something very eerie sounding and mysterious, a song that inspires intrigue. The song did well at first with lmms' default samples, however, I've always been inspired by the Mega Man Battle Network games, and for the longest time I've wanted to mix a bit of that influence with my game. So I went out and found a Mega Man Battle Network sound font, which I think sounds amazing. I see why all of my producer friends in school mentioned having a good sound library, because it really does make a difference in your music. Overall, the musical direction I have for this game is going to fall around the genres of trap music, electronic dance music, and heavy metal. The theme of the game is centered around futuristic worlds and science fiction, so normally I would want a more symphonic piece and perhaps even mix in my funk and blues background into the music. However, due to the theme and my limited software, I think I'm going to stick with more modern styles of music to fit the genre, but to also capture the ears of the world's young people. I perhaps should have used a bit of sustain on the chords when I first recorded them. I'm still new to using my MIDI keyboard, so I haven't quite gotten used to experimenting with my music just yet. When I was writing the song initially, I wanted to use just 2 simple chords in order to create something. I figured that the sample I was using was close enough to being eerie sounding, so any 2 simple chords could do the trick. And for that, I used the chords G major and A minor. I believe the C major scale should be used to build the melody for the piece. However, I noticed that F major may also be used. I'm not sure if it was sound too well, but the triple oscillator, which is what is playing the bass line in the song, carries 1 flat note. I know that B flat or C sharp is not within any of the chords I'm playing, but it doesn't appear to really clash with any of the notes. I'm not entirely sure why this works, however I could be wrong and it could sound terrible. If anyone hears any distance between the notes, please let me know within the comment section below. I've heard about harmonizing like this before in music, where you use a note that's not really in the scale or within the chord, and it just harmonizes the song a little bit different, gives the song a different feel and flair. I've heard about this in music, but I'm not sure if I'm really using it right or properly, so I would really like your opinion to know if I did a great job or not. I know the bass line is not exactly what I want, because it's really hard to find a really good bass sound, especially with preset samples, so I'm working on getting the best bass sound I can out of it. If anything, I might just have to invest in getting an interface and a new computer to really make this album the album that I want it to be, because with my game development, my music is just as important as my game itself. This is still an incomplete song, and I'll be spending a few more days actually writing the song, and then several weeks doing some mixing and mastering and making sure all the instruments sound well within the mix before releasing this. I know that this music is very simple, however, sometimes simplicity can say a million things. Alright, I'm not going to let you guys wait any longer. I'm going to show you guys the song. I managed to record a bit of footage of a test area I created for the Mystic Forest. If you remember from my first devlog, the Mystic Forest is the area that has the slightly darker green tree leaves when compared to everywhere else. That's one of its distinguishing characteristics. Tell me how it goes. Well, that was my first indie game track. Tell me how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. If you would like to see more, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for watching. This is Codemaster Jamal. Till next time, I'm signing out.